Fun Convention TV and Florida United Numismatists welcome you to a glimpse of the Summer Fun Show in Orlando, Florida. Join us as we discover all that the Fun Show has to offer in this episode of Coin Tales from the Bourse Floor, featuring Mr. Mark Lighterman of the Casino Chip and Gaming Token Collectors Club. Fun Convention TV is with Mark Lighterman of Casino Chip and Gaming Token Collectors Club, and he's going to tell us about collecting chips.
Good morning. There are different areas when you're collecting chips and the rest, and a lot of people who started collecting chips usually go out. When they go to a casino, they'll pick up $1 and take it home with them as a remembrance of what hotel or casino they played in, and as they go from casino to casino, they collect chips, and this is how most people have started collecting chips throughout their life. From that stemmed a group of people who started really collecting chips and studying them and the rest. And there are a lot of different areas now where people do collect and specialize in different areas, and I'm going to talk about some of those today. One of the first ones is that most people will just collect standard chips from a casino, which, has a denomination on it. This happens to be a $2 chips from the Riviera. And it's a little bit of an odd denomination, but some people collect $2 chips, some $1 chips, some people even collect $5, $25, $100 chips, and it goes up from there. So there are a lot of people, there are a lot of different areas. One of the most common areas is what's known as a limited edition, or chips which are put out for special occasions, and they limit the run to anywhere from 50 of them to 5,000. One of the best known examples is Hard Rock. Hard Rock has put out a series of chips for most of their bands if they're playing at the Hard Rock in Vegas or in any of the Hard Rock casinos throughout the country. They do correct things, and this happens to be one for one of the bands they had out there, and this is another one for Cinco de Mayo Day, which they produced. Both, it has cross-reference of limited editions and for Hard Rock collectors, and Hard Rock is a very popular area of collecting the chips. There are people who collect chips which is the denomination $2.50. These are known as snappers. It's a term which the chip collectors came out with, and it's for the only place you can get these chips is off a blackjack table. So if the casino does not have blackjack, you will not see a $2.50 chip. And this is a payoff when you get a natural blackjack. They paid the $5 plus $2.50 for a natural blackjack. So these people just specialize in $2.50 chips. Some people go back to the history of chips. This happens to be from the Streamline Hotel. This was an illegal club in Florida and Daytona Beach. It has a crossover area of collecting and that stuff because this is where they signed the contract for NASCAR to start running races and the rest. So the contract was signed at this hotel. They were also running an illegal gambling operation in the back. This is another one. This is a famous one out of Hollywood, Florida, owned by Meyer Lansky, Jimmy Blue Eyes Allo, and a few other people and the rest. And this is from the Colonial Inn. So anybody who studied history and the rest who knows Florida knows this chip from that casino and the rest down there. But if you notice, it has a metal inlay in the center of it. This is what's known as a die-cut inlay. There are very few chips out there with this type of center on it, and because of the center they have in here, and the rest was only produced between 1946 and 1948. So any chip which has this style on it can be dated back to that point. So the thing is that if you look at this chip and you know that this is a from that area, the same people who build this has the similar die-cut inlay, and if you notice the name on it, it says Flamingo Hotel. This is from when Bugsy Siegel opened up the original Flamingo in 1946. These are very rare chips in as much as that there's less than 50 known of all the different denominations, and there's 525s and 100s known out of this casino. And the rest, this one, if you notice, has a drill hole in the bottom. More than 90% of them have drill holes in it. Those without the drill holes are worth a lot more than this. This is worth about 1/10 the value, but the history of that it was owned when Siegel opened it. Another popular area is Playboy. It's like Hard Rock. There are people who specialize just in Playboy chips. This is out of Atlantic City. This shows the opposite of what happened in the rest. These were very hard to come by. Large denominations like $100 and the rest were very rare and were worth anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 at one time. But because a major hoard in a hole which they dug and they buried these chips can be bought now for only about $10. Now there are other areas. This is a Playboy chip from Rhodes in Greece. You notice it's slightly different than the rest. This is more of a jeton style, which is the European style chip, and the rest. And these were used on special, on tables and the rest. And it's Playboy, and those who collect Playboy, who collect jetons, look for that. And associated with that, and I brought another example. This is a plaque of the style of the jeton. This is a New London Playboy Club, which just opened not too long ago, and the rest. And the value of this, is £100. And this happens to be quite small for the things. Usually they can be as big as a giant postcard size, and the rest of the larger the plaque, the larger the denomination. These are early pieces, and the rest. This is from Caesar's Palace, and the rest. This chip, because the Caesar lying down and the rest, has a value of generally between $200 and $300. This is, looks like a very common chip from the MGM Grand, but if you zoom in and you look at the lions on the below at the bottom, they're inverse. The lions are upside down to the regular image of the chips, and this was a backup chip when the primary chips had some problem with it and the rest, and they had to move them off the tables. They go to a backup set. This is from the backup set. It's a very rare chip. This chip generally sells between $800 and $1,000 because it's that rare, just because of the reverse on it, and that's the only difference generally between that and the normal chip you see on the table. Other areas which are things are silver strikes. This is known that these were special tables and the rest, special slot machines which produce these special coins and the rest, and you had to win them in these machines. Since the machines are broken down, they've been pulling them all out of the casinos and they haven't been repairing them, so there are fewer and fewer of these machines. Associated with that is the slot tokens from, used like in the slot machines. These are more than almost eliminated, so whatever's out there is on the market. You generally can find them for about $1 to $3 each, and you can build a nice collection of these for any city, state, or the rest out there. What they've gone to as a new collectible is what's known as a ticket in, ticket out. These are tickets. These are ticket in, ticket outs, which will go in the machines and the rest, and they have barcodes and the rest. And they show that this is what they do is it makes it easier to go from one machine to the next without having to issue coins and having to use counters and the rest to come up with them. So this is a new collectible. This is another specialized area. You look at this and the rest, it looks like a Harris chip, $100 and the rest. This was never used in a casino except on film. This is a movie prop chip for Bette Midler's movie and the rest. A lot of people are collecting chips which were used on television shows and movies like the movie Maverick, Rush Hour 2, any movie which had a casino in it, if they had chips with their name in it and the rest, do have it. These are chips from the Bahamas. People collect overseas chips, Bahamas. There are a whole group of collectors who just specialize in the Caribbean, and there are websites just devoted to anything out there and the rest. Like I said, odd denomination chips. This is $3 chip. $2, $3, $4, $8 were used on special tables or in poker rooms and the rest. So a lot of times you'll see poker rooms which have chips different denominations than those in the things. This is another area which you'll find in certain things. These are no cash values. These are used for tournaments or special occasions. You cannot turn these in for value and the rest. but they are also not supposed to be leaving the casino. And the thing is that's why a lot of people specialize in these, because they do get them out. Just the one who says bunnies. A lot of people collect what's on them. Some people collect bunnies, dogs, horses. Any specialized area you'll find somewhere on a chip, and somebody will collect it, just specializing in those areas. And that's really it. I mean,
what is the most valuable gaming chip on the market?
Current one, which we know of, is either the Saharas or the Sands, $5, $25 chip, and the rest. Last one sold privately for $48,000.
Well, that's a lot of money.
So even if you talk about stuff like that, modern rarities, those go back to the 50s, early 60s. This chip here is the Club Royale. This is a Florida chip, which was off a boat which sailed in West Palm Beach. It sailed for 39 sailings before it sunk in the hurricane. Everything went down with the ship. There's less than 100 chips known off of that boat to exist. This chip alone is about a $100 chip. The $2.50 chip sells for over $600 just off of that. There's less than 15 of those known.
Are there reference books available for a novice collector new to the hobby?
There are reference books for almost every area of specialty. There are people who collect by state. I'm an author of a chip book from the state of Florida. We covered the complete history of Florida gambling from 1832 up to the modern chips. We have them all listed anytime we get photos and the rest. There's another book known as the Chip Rack. This is all Las Vegas chips, or all Nevada chips, and they have values and listings in there. There are states of Atlantic City, Toledo, Ohio for illegals. There, almost every state, almost every city, almost every country has a chip book out on it, and the rest. Riverboat gambling, wet chips, and the rest. There are books which specialize in these things. It's good to get books and to speak to other collectors to find out what's out there, because an earlier book, which may be a couple of years old, may show a chip is very rare, and a horde of them may have turned up on the market within the last couple of months, and the value will drop of that for we'll make a chip which is $100 to $300 worth $10 to $20. So you need to be very careful in what you're buying, and the rest. Condition of a chip generally is not something that you'll find out there. People like to handle the chips, they like to hold them. There is a whole in the background of people who collect chips do not like them slabbed or graded. They like to have them raw so that they have them in their hands and they know what they feel like. So this is one of the areas that 99.9% of the chips you see on the market today will not be in a slab.
And where can we find you online or your club online?
The Florida Casino Chip Club has a website at FLCC and GTCC. The Casino Chip and Gaming Talking. The best way of going with that is to go to chipguide.com, and from there will be to the National Club and most of the collectors. This is an online bulletin board where people post chips for sale, post questions, and if anybody knows the answer, they will be happy to answer it at any time.
Great. Well, you've been very informative. I've learned so much about gaming chips, but I do appreciate your time, and thanks for talking with Fun Convention TV. We hope you have a fabulous show.
Thank you very much.
Fun Facts Fast. You've been watching Fun Convention TV. Visit Fun Forums for fun show updates, videos, articles, photos, and more. Fun Forums, it just makes sense. This video is the property of Fun, Florida United Numismatist. Re-editing or use without prior consent is strictly prohibited.